Welcome back. We wanted to follow up on a story we first brought you yesterday, that vicious attack on the streets of Cincinnati, Ohio. We are learning today that at least 5 suspects have been charged in the brawl that left a man and a woman brutally beaten. According to the city's police chief, only one person at the scene called 911. Dozens recorded and watched the violence unfold. The chief also saying the viral videos are being taken out of context and don't depict the entire incident. Joining me now is former Tucson, Arizona police officer and host of the Officer Tatum Show, Brandon Tatum. Brandon, it's great to have you on the show. You're one of the people I look forward to talking to in a moment like this. Let's start with the police chief. What is she talking about? The videos are taken out of context.
Well, I think that she's just capitulating or trying to save face with the black community, because there is no context that is worth a person getting knocked unconscious and people stomping an individual in the middle of the street. Everybody with a connected brainstem understand the law is, even if the person instigated the altercation, once the person is down and defenseless, you cannot continue to pummel him and kick him over the head. And if you're not involved in the situation, you can't be offended on somebody else's behalf and sucker punch a person and knock them unconscious, potentially killing them. There is no context to that. And I think that if you look at it, if the roles were reversed and this was a bunch of white people stomping out black people and knocking them unconscious, you would never hear the police chief even utter the words that there's more context to it.
You know, I brought that up yesterday, Brandon. What if the racial roles were reversed? It's hard for us to ignore the racial dynamics of this. And you talked about it just now when you suggested the police chief is kowtowing or catering to the black audience. So what am I supposed to take away from this? Here you have 2 white victims, a mob of I don't know how many black individuals beating these people senseless far after, as you point out, there's any legitimate fight. So what am I supposed to do with all of this, Brandon?
Well, you got to look at it for what it really is. A lot of people are afraid to say it, but this is racism, and this is racism visibly from the black community. I grew up, I've been black my whole life, and I grew up in a black community, and the hatred that black people have for white people is just, it doesn't get spoken about enough. That's why when you see situations like this, where clearly not everybody's family members, and they're just beating the brakes off of these white people, it's this built up, pent up anger and hatred towards white people. And therefore, you say anything to a black person and you're white, it's taken in an offensive way, and therefore they feel they're justified to beat them to death. And that's why you will never see a video where there's tons of white people beating up black people like this. You will never see it. I can't find it. I tell people all the time, show me a video and I'll shut up. And it's because of the racism that's coming from the black community towards white people. Now, I'm not saying every black person is racist and not every white person is an innocent person. But what this is showing true racism from the black community and the hatred that they have against white people.
Why?
Well, I think it's a few reasons. One, some of the animosity towards white people is legitimate because of some of the things that had happened in the past, which I think is stupid to retain, but I can see where some people still feel a little bit of animus. Some white people are racist against black people. So I see a slight bit of animus that could be legitimized, not necessarily to bludgeon people, but to feel a little animus on the inside. But also, there is this passing down of hatred from generations before us. For instance, my grandmother, and then she didn't pass this down to me, but my grandmother had to drink out of a separate water fountain than white people. So when you go back into generations past, there's this, in my opinion, wrongful passing down of hatred and animosity in a situation now where we don't deal with those things. Racism isn't like it used to be, especially against black people. So I think that those things together is causing this situation to be exacerbated. I really wish that people would get over it and stop hating people because of the color of their skin and start treating people based on the content of their character.
Well, I think that's a fascinating conversation that you've opened up here for us. And I'll just highlight something you said. What you're saying is not all black people are racist, nor are all white people absolved of racism. It exists. But I think the important and unique thing that you're sharing with us today is it exists within everyone, and no one is absolved from this sin. And when you can see it on display, perhaps, we don't know motivations, but perhaps right there on the streets of Cincinnati, you got to call it for what it is. And you did here today, Brandon Tatum. Thank you so much. Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.